All right, we're back. All right, bump it, bump it, bump it. Again, again. A little bit longer on the bump. Again, right there. All right, now, where we at on our indicator, folks? You see, I got a mark right there. My zero's right there, so we got to go back just a hair. Go ahead and shut the key off. All right, we're good. All right, let's see. Let me get you down in there to see that. But right there, we got a notch on zero. See that? TDC, guys. TDC. All right, we got you all set up here for a front row show. All right, so we have nice, genuine HEI style distributor. Beautiful. And we have number one set on number one. Yeah! Look at that, folks. First try. That you don't do very often. All right. Is that visible right here in my hands? Yeah. Okay, so we have TDC on here set up right here, number one. So we're going to call this guy number one off the corner of the cap here because that will give us enough range of motion to go forward and that, before TDC and after TDC by calling this one number one because right here is TDC. So that'll give us a nice swing. It keeps our vacuum advance out here away from everything. It gives us lots of clearance. Our wires will all be out here, so everything will be out away from the engine. So we're going to call this one here TDC number one. All right, thank you. All right, I took the liberty of putting the plug back in. We had to take the cap out of the way. Obviously, kind of hinders us when you got this big monster cap up here. All right, so we was talking about firing order, and I kind of had a fun moment because if we walk back over to here, we could take a look right there. Now I'd imagine we could probably figure out our firing order, being as everything's still connected over here. Just so y'all know, that was brand new water pump, but he wanted me to put a new one in. I want to reinstall the water pump. I've adhered the gasket to it. There's water pump, thermostat, gasket sealers, specialty stuff. We need to know it was going in good. Does not want to cooperate. Everybody else is in place. So we ended up with a typical aftermarket reman part where the holes are a little bit off on everything. So we have to take out the studs out of this water pump. But if you take two nuts and you tighten them against each other, a lot of times you can use that to take the stud out. But apparently I put them on all too well because they ain't gonna give it up.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Guess I didn't realize I did that. Apparently, back in the day, we must have safety nutted the backside.
You know, it seems like bad things are always happening to me. Like I have bad luck or something.
Son, you don't have bad luck. The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
Probably why they're not coming out, huh? Be a good enough reason. Let me show you guys. I know what I'm talking about. Some of you know this trick, some of you don't. You don't have safety nuts on the backside. It works pretty good. Anyways, like that. And then you just take the stud right on out. Again, if you don't have the safety nuts on the back.
Dumbass.
Like so. Now we're all back on. Everything's where it's supposed to go. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. You guys just didn't know you were waiting for it, but look at that going in. Woo-wee. Woo-wee, baby. Ta-da. Yeah. Just like that. So yeah. Let's get you a view of that. Look at that view. Oh, ain't that just gonna look sexy down in there? Love it, love it, love it. Thank you all for watching. Thanks to TG. Thanks to my old man Ron. This project was a little bit of a handful by oneself, so it could have been done, but subscribe, hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we drop more content. Lots more to come. So we've been doing a little work off film. I'll break that all down today, and then we'll go through that all together on this. I didn't do a lot without you all. I hooked up the fuel line back up. The HEI's in. I did install the fuel pump down below. I installed the oil line for the tri-gauges. We're using the plastic line as a temporary just to make sure everything is good. We'll switch over to a copper line. We're having issues with this HEI distributor. One, the battery's not strong enough. Two, we have a weak starter.
It ain't got no gas in it.
So we're not rolling this over fast enough to put out spark needed to keep it running. So when the battery's hot, take all the plugs out, you can roll it over and get a spark. But this motor has a little bit more compression than his old one did, and this starter can't roll it over fast enough.
Well, pow, baby.
Distributor, I'm going to play with it more on the bench. I'm going to go back to points condenser for today, get it back on the road, and get him going on that. I'm not real impressed with the parts anyways. Changing out parts will make it spark better. We are going to go with an electric fan, that beautiful aluminum radiator. We ended up going with the truck pulley for the water pump. We put on new heater hoses, new radiator hoses. I used his sensor right here on his thermostat housing. The old one on mine didn't have that. We have a port here. That's what we're going to use for the tri-gauge. Right up in there, this guy here, we are going to use for the electric fans, so it has an actual water temp sensor of 180. A little bit cool, but that's what the sensors are set at, so that's what we're just going to run it with. But it'll have dual 10 fans, and we'll have to put them at angles, up one up here and one down there or whatever, because of the clearances we have right there. Not a big deal. Starter, we're going to change that out. It was weak. Like I said, this motor has enough compression. His other one, when I took the torque converter bolts out, I was able to turn it by hand at the flywheel. This one, I literally have to put the pry bar on those little bolts there on the power steering pump. I put the pry bar on it, and it still takes some work. Probably got flat top pistons in it, I'm going to say. I'm not sure. Everybody's long gone that had a hand in that build. But it feels like it's got some compression, so it wouldn't surprise me to have some flat top pistons put in when they rebuilt it. It was in a truck, and man, it was beastie in Grandpa's old truck, so costly. But I would like to see him swap out that old stock manifold and get an Offenhauser 4-barrel carb manifold for this and a header, and I think it would really come alive. I wouldn't even put a big carburetor on it, something in the 500 range. All right, TG's on his way. And we'll get him to swap that starter out. We'll get the distributor, we'll get it rolling up on number one, change out distributors, put some plugs back in it, hopefully fire it up for y'all. Pulled the HEI distributor that we're having all the issues with. I am returning back to this points condenser. This is your points here. This is your condenser. This wire here is your ground from your coil. One side's positive, one side negative. This is your negative side. This is grounded through the base here. As this turns, with these points are opening and closing. See that? How that's happening? That does is that interrupts in the coil, makes a short, and then your spark plug wire that comes out of the coil, which is your coil wire, goes down the middle of your cap, which sends juice through here and out to the different leads on your cap. These little bumps here represent your cylinders just before TDC or whatever. TDC depends on what you set your distributor at. This represents a cylinder, each one of those bumps, each one of those contact opening and closings. What we have to do is we're going to drop this down in here for now. We're just putting it in here to keep the hole from getting anything in it. But when TG gets here, we're going to pull this plug. We're going to roll this up on TD's. I will put my finger up against the hole. As he bumps the key, the piston will come up and give off a compression sound because it's compressing the air in the cylinder with my finger over the hole. And it makes a pss. And then I go over to the other side over there. I find my timing marks and I set myself up on top dead center, TDC, 0 degrees. And then we're going to take this guy, and he's supposed to actually be pointing right about here. And then we'll call that number one. And then we'll wire this up to the firing order. We'll get to that here shortly. And then we'll hook our vacuum line back up to that down here. The vacuum pod down here. We'll get this thing fired up. We'll get the timing light out and set that up. TG's got to get over here and change the starter out since the customer would like a new starter, not the old one. Looky here. Look who just showed up. After I'm sitting here slaving away. See that? I was off camera because I was so busy. Put a new starter on. It was rough. I had to do so much. I'm sorry I didn't get it all, but TG dropped the ball like usual.
You're the cameraman.
Not really. I totally forgot the camera. He was putting on the starter. He was getting after it, and He's been here for a minute. I'm gonna finish hooking up the wires here on it. All right, that's on. I got the fender cover on. I repeat, I am not sponsored by Summit. Love Summit. Summit has good products. I use a lot of their stuff, have all my life. I am not sponsored by them. But I did get a smoking deal on that cover.
This one didn't have an oil bath, did it?
Breather?
Yeah.
Truck, this engine did, but his car didn't.
Yeah, I was going to say the car didn't have no oil bath. The pickup did, though.
Yes.
You can guarantee it.
Yeah, I used it for cleaning up her parents' place, this engine. We just threw it in an old late 70s four-wheel drive truck that I had out there that I was using for a plow truck when I left. Well, isn't that grand? Isn't it grand that the clamp just broke?
Aren't you glad that you got another one sitting right here?
I really didn't want to mess with this piece of junk. Alright, so I went ahead, fixed the positive battery cable, got the negative tightened down, put the new battery in, we got the new starter in. We're fixing to roll this over now onto TDC to set the distributor.
You in it?
Key should be in it and ready to go, and I'll get my finger in the hole. Yeah, go ahead and bump it. Bump it. Right there. See this? I used the battery topper. I took it, I stuck it in that hole, and it really gave us a nice and kept my finger safe. Our mark is way down in there. Get you guys down there close enough to see that. The little notch right there on the back of that pulley has to come back up to the tag right there where it says 0 on the bottom of that tag. That's what we need to line those two up, and then we'll set our number 1 position. After a little bit of a hassle, a motor with too much compression that you can't turn backwards, we got the notch really close to the 0 mark. It's actually at advance just a bit. You look down here at the distributor, our distributor is pointing at more of 11 o'clock than 12 o'clock. If we're a little bit advanced down there, then we're going to be a little bit advanced up here. So that means we've got it on. So now we can put it back together. Hey, this is Camper Joe's with Camper Joe's Super Sleepers. Man, today's video knocked it out of the park, and I thank you guys. We had jumped up to 76 subscribers already. We've been in this for like 3 weeks now. Man, I want to thank you all so much for that. It's been a blessing. We're trying to bring you decent content. In the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. I gotta admit, man, they weren't the best of videos. We did this 66 here, and we did the motor swap in it. We are finishing that job up this week. You'll be tuning in for the final episode of that. We'll clean the car up, we'll finish everything up, button it all down, get it all dialed in, get the owner to drive it, a little interview with him and what he knew about the car. We are going to start on that 56 Chevy Bel Air real soon. That's going to be a real treat for y'all. and I can't wait. We have the OBS Chevy here. That's a buddy of mine's. He is disabled nowadays, but he does a lot for his community, and he's always helping out the people in the community, and his family, his friends, his loved ones. So we're helping him fix his truck. It needs a transmission, and I can't wait to y'all to see that little clip, because him and I have a good time interacting together. And again, thank you for the extra subscribers, and let's blow this channel up. Let's make something out of it, and let's use it for the good. If I make it, anywhere's where I start getting any kind of money for this, it's back to helping the community. That's what we're doing this for.